Hi guys, my name's Marty, and in this video I'm going to show you how to build a WordPress website step by step in 2025. You don't need to have any previous web design experience, we won't be using any complicated coding, and the whole process will only take around 45 minutes to complete. But rather than just talking about it, let's take a look at the actual website we're going to be building. So as you can see, it's a pretty basic website, but it's a perfect starting point for beginners. Plus, we can always add more to it later after building the main foundation of our website. So I'm going to show you how to add a logo and our site title here at the top, and how to update our website's colors. Then we'll also cover how to create different pages, which we'll add to our menu on the right. And these pages will have text, headings, images, and anything else we might need. Then I'll also be covering how to change the WordPress sidebar, which is this part that runs down the right-hand side of our website. Then this website's also going to be 100% mobile friendly, which means it's going to look amazing on any device. So if I make this window a little smaller, we can see what our website will look like on a tablet. Then if we make it a little smaller again, this is what our website's going to look like when being viewed on a mobile phone. And as you can see, the website's pretty much always going to look great. Now, you're probably not going to be building a website full of demo content like my example site, but don't worry, this will work for almost any type of website you might need. And once you change up the colors and add your own content, it's going to look great. So if you're ready to get started, this is how to build a WordPress website step by step in 2025. Okay, so in order for us to build our website, we need three things. The first is a content management system, or CMS, and for this tutorial, we're going to be using WordPress. WordPress actually powers over 40% of all websites online. It's the same platform used by companies like Harvard, NASA, and TechCrunch for their websites, and it's 100% free for us to use. Then the next thing we need to build our website is a domain name. A domain name is usually just the title of a website or business with www before it and .com after it. So it's what people are going to type into their internet browser to visit our website. And then the last thing we need is web hosting. And this is where the different files that make up our website will be stored online so people can access it. Now, there are tons of places to get domain names and web hosting, but I recommend using Bluehost for both. Bluehost are a well-known hosting company with affordable pricing and great support. They also offer a free domain name with all of their hosting packages, and they're even recommended by WordPress themselves as one of their top choices for hosting. So to get started, we just need to open up our internet browser and go to bluehost.com. Or if you want to support me and this channel, you can click my affiliate link in the video description or visit the URL that's on screen now to get here instead. I will earn a small commission if you do this, and you'll also get the discounted price. This really does help out a lot, so thank you if you use my link. Then either way, once we get here, we're going to hover over where it says web hosting at the top, and then click into web hosting. Then on this page, we're going to click where it says view plans, and this will show us the different hosting plans that Bluehost offer. Now, to be totally honest, if this is your first website, you're probably only going to need the basic plan. This allows us to have up to 10 different websites with up to 40,000 visitors per month, and this will be enough for most people. But if for whatever reason we need more than this, we can always go for the Choice Plus plan instead, which allows us to have up to 50 websites and up to 200,000 visitors per month. And both of these plans come with a free domain name for the first year. Now, as I'm only doing this for the tutorial, I'm going to go for the basic plan myself. Then once we've decided on which hosting plan we want, we can click Choose Plan. And now we're going to register the domain name we want for our new website. So we just need to type the domain name we're wanting to register into this box, and for me, I'm going to put Marty's website. Then on the right, we can change the domain extension if we like, but I'm going to leave this on .com for mine. So the domain name I'm registering here is martyswebsite.com. Then once we're done, we can click Search for Domain on the right. And as long as the domain name is available, we're going to be brought to a page that looks like this. But if we get a message saying the domain is not available, we're going to need to choose something else. Then once we know our domain name is available and we're on this page, Here at the top we can see the hosting plan we chose, and we can change how often we'd like to pay for our hosting here if we like, but I'm going to leave this set to yearly for mine. Then under this we have our domain name, and we can see we're getting 1 year for free, which would normally cost us $12.99. Then under our domain name we have 2 optional add-ons, which are Domain Privacy Protection and Professional Email. But as we don't need these to build our website, we can click the trash icon to the right of each one to remove them from our order. Then once we're done here, we can see the total price to pay over on the right. So after the discount, it's only going to cost me $35.40 for 12 months of hosting and my domain name. And as these are the only 2 things we need to pay for, this means it's only going to cost us $2.95 per month to run our website, which is awesome. And if we look underneath, we can see they also offer a 30-day money-back guarantee. Then once we're happy with everything here, we can click Continue to Checkout. And now on this page, we just need to fill out our basic information, so things like our name and address. Then under this, we can enter the password we want to use for logging into our Bluehost account. And then under this, we can choose our payment method. And we can choose either credit or debit card or PayPal. So I'm just going to pause this video while I fill out my personal information and pay for my order, and then I'll restart it again. Okay, so that's me now back, and after paying for my order, I was automatically logged into my Bluehost account. Then once we're logged in, we can start installing WordPress. Normally, this would require us to download WordPress and then manually upload it to our hosting account and connect our domain name. But because Bluehost use a one-click installer, we can literally install WordPress in about a minute. To do this, we just need to click into Websites on the left, and then click Add Site over on the right. Now we want to make sure Install WordPress is selected here, and then click Continue. Then here we can enter our site title, and don't worry too much about this for now, as we can always change it again later. Then once we're done, we can click Continue. Then here we need to enter the domain name we want to use for our website, and this is going to be the one that we just registered. So for me, I'm going to put martyswebsite.com. Then if we click Continue, Bluehost will start installing WordPress for us right away. This will usually only take about 30 seconds or so to complete, but sometimes it can take a little longer. Then once WordPress has been installed, we just need to click here where it says Edit Site, and this will open up our website in a new tab. Now when we first install WordPress on Bluehost, we'll be prompted to use their WordPress onboarding process. But to skip over this, we're going to click at the bottom where it says I'm following a tutorial, take me to the admin dashboard. And this will bring us into the WordPress dashboard. Then to visit our site, we just need to click our site title in the top left, and this will show us what WordPress looks like when we first install it. Now don't worry if yours looks a little different than mine, as sometimes they change up the default theme. Either way, it's just going to have some demo content on it for now, but it's ready for us to start customizing and adding content to. And at this point, if we look up at the top, you might notice that our website isn't using the new domain name we registered at the start. And this is a feature of Bluehost that allows us to get started right away. Usually we would need to wait until our domain name was ready, but Bluehost assign our website a temporary URL until our domain name is pointed to their servers. If this is a new domain name, it might take a few hours to finish setting up. But once our new domain name is ready, it'll replace the temporary one right away without us needing to do anything else. And we can also ignore this site preview warning at the top as well, as we'll be getting rid of it soon. Then to get back to the dashboard, we just need to click our site title again in the top left. And this time we're going to be on the main dashboard home screen. So this is what we'll normally see when we log into our WordPress website, as the first time we were on the Bluehost welcome screen. And now that we've got WordPress installed, the first thing we're going to do in here is delete the demo content. So first, we're going to click into Pages on the left, and this will show us any pages we have on our site, which at the moment is just this sample page, and a privacy policy page. But we're going to add our own pages, so we're going to delete these ones. To do this, we just need to hover our mouse over the page title and then click Trash. And then we can do the same thing for the second one. So we just need to hover our mouse over the title and click Trash. Then once we've deleted the demo pages, we're going to click into Posts on the left, and this will show us any blog posts we have on our site, which at the moment is just this Hello World demo post. Then, just like with pages, we're going to hover our mouse over the title and click Trash. And now we're going to remove some plugins that came pre-installed. To do this, we just need to click into Plugins on the left, and this will show us any plugins we have installed on our site. Plugins are basically like apps we can install on our website that allow us to add extra functionality that WordPress doesn't come with by default. So things like contact forms and social share buttons. Now, we can always install a few plugins later on after learning the basics of WordPress, but for now, we're just going to remove the ones that came pre-installed. To do this, we need to check this box in the top left to select all of the plugins. Then we're going to change this drop-down menu to Deactivate and click Apply. And WordPress will deactivate all the plugins at once. Now, you might notice that when we do this, a bunch of notifications and things have disappeared from our menu on the left, and that's because these were created by the plugins. And this is sort of why I wanted to do this at the start, because the extra menu items and notifications can make things seem a little more confusing than they are. Then, once we've deactivated the plugins, we still need to delete them. To do this, we're going to check this box again in the top left to select all of the plugins. Then we're going to change this drop-down menu to Delete and click Apply. Then we just need to click OK, and WordPress will delete the plugins one by one. Then, once these plugins have been deleted, the next thing we're going to do is install a WordPress theme, and this is going to change the entire look of our website. Now, there are literally thousands of free themes available for WordPress, but we're going to be using one of my favorites, which is a theme called GeneratePress. GeneratePress is a perfect theme for beginners, it's easy to use, and works well for almost any type of website. And it even has a perfect 5-star review score on WordPress with more than 1,300 reviews. Now, you can always change theme again later if you want to, after learning the basics, but I'd recommend using the same one as me so you can follow along with the tutorial, as different themes will have different options. Then, to install a theme on WordPress, we just need to click in the Appearance in our left dashboard menu, and this will show us any themes we have installed. And as we can see, the theme that I'm currently using at the moment is called 2025, as it's the one that says active beside its name. Then we could change to one of these other themes we have installed if we like. All we need to do is hover our mouse over the theme and then click Activate. But instead, we're going to be installing a new one. To do this, we just need to click Add New Theme at the top, and this will show us the different free themes that WordPress have to offer. And if we look in the top left, we can see there are more than 7,000 of them. So we can just scroll through these different themes until we find one we like. Or if we know the name of the theme we want to use, we can type it into the search bar in the top right. So we're going to type GeneratePress in here. Then when it shows up, this is the one we're looking for here, and we just need to hover our mouse over it and click Install. This will only take a few seconds to install, and then we can click Activate. Then once the theme is active, if we click our site title in the top left to visit our site, we can see that it now looks totally different. And the reason it says nothing found here is because we deleted the demo blog post. And you might also notice that the site preview warning is now gone from the top as well. And this is because it was created by the Bluehost plugin that we deleted. And now that we've installed our theme, we can start to customize it. But just quickly before that, if you're following along with this tutorial and it's been easier than you thought it was going to be so far, be sure to give this video a like on YouTube to show your support. I'd really appreciate it, and it also shows YouTube that people are enjoying my content and helps get my videos shown to a wider audience. So thank you in advance if you do. And now we're going to start customizing our WordPress theme. To do this, we just need to click where it says Customize up in the top left, and this will open up a list of our theme options here on the left, and then we have a live preview of our website on the right. Then to get started, we're going to click into the first option at the top, which is Site Identity. Then in here we can change our site title if we like, and we'll see this updates in real time on the right. But I'm just going to quickly change this back to Marty's website. Then under this on the left, we have our tagline, which is a line of text that appears underneath our site title. Now this is hidden by default, but if we uncheck the box beside Hide Site Tagline, and then type something into this box, we'll see that it now appears underneath our site title. Then under this on the left, we have an option to add a logo if we have one. So we just need to make sure we have the image downloaded to our computer. Then we're going to click Select Logo, and then click Select Files in the middle. Now we need to find the image on our computer, click on it, and click Open. Then once the image has been uploaded, we can click Select in the bottom right. Then here we have an option to crop our image if we need to, or we can click Skip Cropping. And when we do this, we'll see that our logo now appears beside our site title up at the top. Then if we want to change the size of our logo, we can do that here on the left where it says Logo Width, and I'm going to change mine to be 60 pixels. And I think this looks a lot better. Now I'm using a logo that doesn't have any text in it, but if you're using a different type of logo, you might want to hide the site title and tagline. If that's the case, we just need to check the two boxes here on the left, and we'll see that the text is now gone. But I'm just going to bring these back for mine. Then once we're happy with everything here, we just need to click Publish up at the top to save our changes. Then we're going to click the back pointing arrow to the left to go back. And now the next thing we're going to do is start creating some pages for our website. So to do this, we're going to click into Menus here on the left, and then click Create New Menu. Now we need to give our menu a name here at the top, and I'm just going to call mine Main Menu. Then we need to check this box beside Primary Menu and click Next. And now we can start creating our actual pages. To do this, we're going to click here where it says Add Items. Then to create a page, we just need to type the page name into this box and then click Add on the right to create it. And for mine, I'm going to create a page called Home, a page called About, and one called Services. And as we can see, when we create our pages, they're added to this list on the left, and this represents our actual menu. Now you can create as many pages as you like, but I'd at least recommend adding a page called Home, as we're going to be using this to replace the blog that's currently on the home page. And we can always come back here anytime we like if we want to create another page. Now I'm happy with the order of my pages here, but if we want to change the order of our menu, we can click here where it says Reorder, and then use these up and down arrows to change the position of our pages. And for reference, anything we put to the top of this list will be on the left side of our menu, and anything we put to the bottom will be on the right. Then, once we're happy with the order of our menu, we can click Done. And at this point, we can see that our menu now appears in the preview on the right. And we can click into our different pages. Now, they don't have any content on them at the moment, but we're going to be adding some soon. Then, once we're finished with our menu, we're going to click Publish in the top left to save our changes. Then click the back pointing arrow to the left to go back, and then click it once more to get back to the main list of options. And now we're going to assign our website's homepage. So if we click our site title or logo at the top, this will bring us to our website's homepage. And we can see that it says nothing found. And this is because by default, WordPress is set to show a blog on the homepage. But because we're creating a website, we're going to change this to be the homepage that we just created. So to do this, we're going to click on the left where it says Homepage Settings. Then we're going to change this from Your Latest Posts to a static page. Then under Homepage, we're going to choose our page called Home. And when we do this, we'll see that it updates in the preview on the right. Then once we're finished here, we're going to click Publish up at the top to save our changes, and then click the back pointing arrow to the left to get back to the main list of options. Now we'll come back into our theme options again soon to change our colors and update our sidebar, but for now, we're just going to click the X in the top left to close out of the theme options. And at this point, we'll see that the changes we made are now live on our website. So our homepage has been updated to the new one. Then we have our site title and our tagline at the top, and our logo if we added one. Then over on the right, we have our menu with our different pages. And we're going to start adding content to these pages in a second. But just before we get to that, if you've been finding this tutorial easy to follow, please be sure to click the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you can stay up to date with my newest videos. Plus, I'd really appreciate it too. Then to start adding content to our pages, we just need to click into the page we're wanting to edit in our menu, which for me is going to be my About page. Then we're going to click Edit Page up at the top, and this will bring us into the page editor. Then here at the top we can see the page title, and we can change this if we like, but I'm just going to leave mine as it is. Then if we click in here underneath, we can just start typing any text we want on our page. But to save some time in this tutorial, I'm just going to delete this again and paste in some demo text I already have copied. Then once we've added any text we want on our page, if we want to change any of it to be bold or italics, we just need to highlight the text. Then in the menu above it, we can click here to make it bold or italics. Then if we want to add a bullet list, we just need to highlight the lines of text we want in the list. Then click this symbol that looks like a backwards P and choose List. And we'll see it updates in the editor. Or if we want this to be a numbered list, we can click on it, then click this icon on the left to select the full list, and then we can change it to numbers here. But I'm going to put mine back to bullets. Then if we have any text we want to turn into a heading, we just need to click on it to select it, then click the backwards P in the menu above it, and choose Heading. And we'll see that it changes in the editor. And if we want to change the heading's size, we can click on it again, then click where it says H2 in the menu above it, and change this to a different size. And we'll see that it's now smaller. Then if we highlight our heading text, we can also make it bold and italics as well if we like. I'm going to undo the italics for mine, but I do think it looks better bold, so I'll keep that on. Then we can add some more text headings if we need to, but I'm just going to add the one for my example. Then once we're happy with the text on our page, we can add some images. To do this, we just need to take a new line where we want our image to appear, then click the plus symbol to the right, type the word image into this search bar, and then click on the image block to add it to our page. Now we need to click where it says Upload on the left, find the image we want to use on our computer, click on it, and click Open. And we'll see the image is added to the editor. Then if we want to change the size of our image, we can click and drag this point to the right until we have it the size we want. Then once we're happy with our image, we can add another one if we like, but I'm just going to add one for mine. Then if at any point we want to see what our page is going to look like on our actual website, we just need to click Save in the top right to publish our changes. And then if we click this icon to the left, this will open up our page in a new tab. So we have our title at the top, then any text we added, and our images. Then we also have our bullet list and text headings. Now, one thing you might notice is that there isn't really any space between this text and the image. So if you find this happens with any of your images or anything else on your page, the easiest way to fix it is using a spacer. So if we close out of this tab to get back to the editor, and then click on our image, we can hit the Enter key on our keyboard to take a new line. Then we're going to click the plus symbol to the right, type spacer into this search bar, and then click on the spacer block to add it. Then once we've added it to our page, if we look over on the right, we can see that the default height is 100 pixels. But for something like this, I'd recommend changing it to 20 pixels instead. And don't worry that it looks a good bit bigger here, it's just to show us that there's a spacer when we're looking at it in the editor. Then once we're finished, we need to click Save in the top right to publish our changes. And then if we click this icon to the left to view our page, we'll see there's now a gap between the image and the text. Then if we want to add more content to our page, we can go back to the editor and add whatever else we like. But I'm happy enough with mine for the example. Then once we're finished with our page and we've published our changes, we can close out of the extra tab. Then if we click the WordPress logo in the top left, this will bring us into our list of pages. And then if we click our site title in the top left, this will bring us back to our website. And if I click into the About page in my menu, we can see that all of the content I added is now live on my website. And now we just need to do the same thing for any of our other pages. So we just need to click into the next page in our menu, then click Edit Page at the top to open it up in the editor, and then we can add our content in the same way as before. But to save some time in this video, I'm just going to do this. So now I have my services page, my About page, and my home page. Now, I'm just doing this all pretty quickly to show you how it's done, but if you spend a little more time on it, I'm sure your website will look a lot better than mine. Then, once we're finished adding content to our pages, the next thing we're going to do is change our website's colors. So to do this, we just need to click where it says Customize up at the top to open up our theme options, then click into Colors on the left, and this is where we can change our website's colors. So to get started, we're going to click the down pointing arrow beside Body. Then here we can change our background color. And we'll see this updates on the right. But I'm going to change mine back to light grey. Then under this we can change our main text color. And once again we'll see this changes on the right. But if we ever change one of our colors and then want to change it back, we just need to click here where it says Default, and it'll go back to the original color. Then under this we have Link, and this consists of two different colors. So we have the link color and then the hover color. Then if we scroll down to the bottom of our website in the preview on the right, here we can see this link at the bottom. So it's blue at the moment, and then when I hover over it, it turns black. Then over on the left, I'm going to change this first color to be purple instead of blue. And then I'm just going to leave the second color the way it is. So over on the right, we can see my link is now purple, and when I hover over it, it still turns black. Then once we're done with these colors, we can click the up pointing arrow to close them again, and open up the next set of colors underneath. And we can change these in the same way. Now, rather than going through each of these different colors, to save a bit of time in this video, I'm going to link to a post in the description that explains what each of these colors represent on our website. But for the example, I'm just going to do this. Then once we're happy with our website's colors, we can click Publish up at the top to save our changes, and then click the X in the top left to close out of our theme options. And at this point, we'll see that all of our colors have changed, and I think it's looking much better. And you might have noticed, I did also change the color of my logo as well, so it would look a bit better with the dark header. And now that we've updated our website's colors, the next thing we're going to do is change our sidebar. The sidebar is this part that runs down the right-hand side of our website, and it shows the same content on every page. Now, the content in our sidebar at the moment is more geared towards a blog, so we have the search bar at the top, then a list of our recent posts, and then recent comments. But we're going to remove these and add in some different content. To do this, we need to go back to our theme options, so we just need to click Customize in the top left. Then we're going to click into Widgets on the left, and then click into Right Sidebar at the top. Then in here we can see we have the search bar at the top, then the recent posts, and the recent comments. Now I'm going to remove all three of these for my example, but if you want to keep any of them, you can. So to remove the search bar at the top, we just need to click on it. Then we're going to click the three dots to the right, and then click Delete at the bottom. And when we do this, we'll see that it disappears from our sidebar on the right. Then back over on the left, the next one we have is Recent Posts, and this is a group that's made up of two different parts. We have the title, and then the list of posts. So to remove a group like this, we're going to click on the title, then click this icon to the left of the menu to select the group. Then we're going to click the three dots to the right, and click Delete at the bottom. And once again, we'll see this disappears from our sidebar on the right. Then back over on the left, we have Recent Comments, and this is another group. So we have the title, and then the list of comments. So to remove this, we're going to click on the title, then click the icon to the left of the menu to select the group, click the three dots to the right, and click Delete at the bottom. And at this point, we'll see our sidebar is completely empty. Now, we could leave it like this if we wanted, but I'm going to add some content in here for mine. And adding content to our sidebar is basically done in the same way as adding blocks to our pages. So we just need to click this plus symbol on the left. Then say we wanted to add some text, we can click on the paragraph block to add it to our sidebar, and then just start typing any text we want in here. And when we do, we'll see that it appears in the preview on the right. But I'm just going to delete this again and paste in some demo text I already have copied. Then once we're happy with our text, if we want to add a text heading, we just need to click the plus symbol again at the bottom, and then click on the heading block to add it to our sidebar. Or if we don't see it here, we can type heading into the search bar, and then click on it to add it. And then just start typing any text we want in here. And when we do, we'll see that it appears in the preview on the right. Then if we want to change the heading size, we can click on it, then click where it says H2 in the menu, and choose a different size. And we'll see it changes size on the right. Then if we highlight the heading text on the left, we can also make it bold or italics if we like. I'm going to change mine to be bold, and I think this looks a bit better. Then for this example, I want to move my heading to be above the text, so if we ever want to change the order of any blocks in our sidebar, we just need to click on the one we're wanting to move, and then we can use these up and down arrows to move it. So I'm going to move this up to the top, and we'll see that it's now above the text in my sidebar. Now, because the heading and the text are both related for mine, I don't really want this gap in the middle. So if we want to combine these two things together into the same block, we need to add them both into a group. To do this, we just need to highlight all of the text or blocks we want in the group. Then click this icon to the left of the menu, and choose Group. And when we do this, we'll see they've been combined together and there's no longer a gap in between them. And now that we've added some text to our sidebar, the next thing I want to add is an image. So to do this, we're just going to click the plus symbol at the bottom and then click on the image block to add it to our sidebar. Now we can either click Media Library to use an image we've already got, or click Upload to add a new one. Then we just need to find the image we want to use on our computer, click on it, and click Open. And once it's been uploaded, we'll see that it now appears in our sidebar. Then if we want to change the size of our image, we just need to click and drag this point on the right and change it to whatever size we like. And we'll see it changes size in the preview. Then, just like before, if we want to change the position of the image in our sidebar, we can click on it to select it, and then use these up and down arrows to move it. And I'm going to move mine to the top. Then, once we're happy with the order of everything here, we can add some more content to our sidebar if we like, and there's a bunch of other blocks we can add. So if we click the plus symbol at the bottom, and then scroll down, we can click Browse All, and this will show us all the different widget blocks we can add to our sidebar. So we have things like lists and tables. Then we can also add videos and audio and a whole bunch of other blocks as well. Now, I'm not going to go through all of these in this example, but I will link to some tutorials in the description of this video that'll show you how to set some of these up. And we'll also find that a lot of them are pretty self-explanatory once we start adding them to our sidebar. But I'm pretty happy with how my sidebar is looking at the moment, so I'm just going to leave mine as it is to save time. Then once we're finished adding content to our sidebar, we just need to click Publish up at the top to save our changes, and then click the X in the top left to close out of the theme options. And at this point we'll see that our sidebar has been updated, and it's showing our new content. And if we click into our different pages, we'll see that the sidebar stays the same. Then the last thing I want to show you is how to hide some of our page titles. So most of the time we're going to want a title at the top of our pages, but for things like our home page, it doesn't really seem to make as much sense to keep the title. Now, not all themes have this option built into it, but the GeneratePress theme that we're using does. So to hide a page title, we just need to click Edit Page up at the top to open it up in the editor. And then over on the right, if we scroll down, here at the bottom it says Disable Elements. And we just need to check the box beside Content Title. And now, if we click Save up in the top right to publish our changes, and then visit the page, we'll see that the title is now gone. And we can do this for any of our other pages if we like, but I just wanted to do it for the home page for mine. And at this point, if we look up at the top, we can see that my website's still using the temporary domain name, but this will update to the one we registered at the start within the next 60 minutes or so. And then one more thing, without us needing to do anything else, our website is also 100% mobile friendly. So this is what it's going to look like on a mobile phone, and this is what it's going to look like on a tablet. So as we can see, our website's always going to look great no matter what device it's being viewed on. So that's us now at the end, and that was how to build a WordPress website step by step in 2025. Now, I know I didn't add a whole lot of content to this website, but these are the main basics you'll need to know when just getting started. And if there's anything specific you'd like me to show you, leave it in the comments and I'll add it to my ideas list for future videos. Also, I didn't cover how to add clickable links in this video as my domain name hadn't finished updating, but the tutorial on screen now will show you how to do this once your domain name's updated. And then finally, be sure to subscribe to the channel for more WordPress tutorials. Once again, my name's Marty, and thank you for watching.